I still need money, and this is the only way I know how to make money. Honestly, I can't sing like you, so, so I can't make money through singing. Yeah, and I thought of acting, but I think I still have that imposter syndrome
But you
from
can, you can, you can
technology.
sing. I'd like you to let me test you out on sing. You can say, "Party so sweet, it's so skanking sweet." Say that. Party so sweet, it is so skanking sweet. Say that.
Okay, you said party is so sweet and it is so skanking sweet. Hold on.
You got it. You're close. But I'd like you to say it, rhyme.
Oh, I make
Party
it.
so sweet, it's so skanking sweet.
Party is so sweet, it's so skanking sweet.
That means you can sing. Stop playing with yourself.
Well, I'm one of those old school tech people.
Now you're old school. When somebody talks old school, I like that because I'm old school myself. Old is gold, so they say.
Yeah,
You know.
I think that went on for a period where if you're a lady, no one wanted to hire you. No, like no one.
Why? What do you mean nobody wanted to hire you? I would think that people hire people because of their skill set that they have. Why would you say nobody would want to hire a lady?
There was a bias.
Hello, my people. Thanks for watching. You're welcome to this show today. My name is G Styles. And today on set, I have a very hardworking lady, if I might say. She's in technology. She's a social media person. She develops apps, sites, and she's going to tell us about that. But above all, she's a free-thinking soul that would like to transition into comedy very soon. I'm talking about none other than Patience Nekesa. You're welcome, Patience.
Thank you, Gerard.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Is this your first time on G Styles?
Obviously.
Then we need to toast. Make the G Styles toast. Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Gerard.
How have you been? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
What's good? What have you been cooking?
Ah, man. A lot of this and the other, you know.
Up the voice.
I've been doing a lot of things, trying out a few things. I think last year I was a teacher, a teacher for about 2 terms, and then I went back to tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has been going on.
Okay, nice. So back to the beginning. Technology is wide. There are graphics. There are people that are into graphics designs. That is still There are people that are into systems administration, networking, and those other things. But then there are also people that are into social media, internet marketing, and stuff. Like which area and website development also and software. Which space do you fall in technology?
For the past few years, it's been mainly website development. I think that is, I can call it my first love when it comes to technology, website development. And now I'm getting a little bit into data science because it's the thing.
It's a big thing right now.
It's a big thing right
I know.
now, and the fascinating. The more you'll start learning, the more you're like, wow, I didn't know I could do this with just basic data. But what I do mainly is website development. It's the first thing it's the first thing which made me feel like, wow, I'm actually learning technology I can use when I was at campus, and I went that way. When I couldn't find work, I just did that.
When you couldn't find work, you did that. I thought that was work that you found. What do you mean?
I'm one of those old school tech people.
Now you're old school. When somebody talks old school, I like that because I'm old school myself. Old is gold, so they say.
Yeah, old is gold. I'm old school.
Yeah.
Of course, when I talk to young people nowadays, when they're coming in with new technology, I'm like, man, I'm a little bit old school. So I do things the old school way, and you are the younger people, so you have new things, new ways of doing things. And in the old days, about 10 years ago, when I was doing my first degree, tech was a new thing in Uganda. Most companies did not have IT personnel, and when we were the second pioneers for Bachelor of Information Technology at MOOC, we had the first pioneers, we were the second pioneers. We joined around 2005. The first pioneers joined around 2004.
You joined in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
Graduation was 2009. Of course, me, I graduated a few years later. There were some issues with MOOC.
Okay.
But during that period of time, around, let me say, the early 2000s, before even 2010, those 2000. Even 2010, by the way, I think that went on for a period where if you're a lady, no one wanted to hire you. No one, like, no one.
Why? What do you mean nobody wanted to hire you? I would think that people hire people because of their skill set that they have. Why would you say nobody would want to hire a lady?
There was a bias. They were just biased. Like, even it's even going on up to now. They're like, ladies are just not good at this as men, and we want somebody good. So obviously, when you're a lady applying for a job, they'll be like, yeah, is there any guy who has applied for this job also?
Got you. But in line with that way of thinking, let's imagine you've been hired as an IT person for, let's say, a telecom company. IT is very demanding in terms of time. It's too much into your time. I've practiced IT myself and I know what it means.
Yes.
For ladies, let's imagine a situation where you're required to climb a mast. How would you feel, or how would people around there feel if gentlemen stayed down and asked a lady to climb 100 or 200 meters up a mast? They would really look at these men down here as being so unfair. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that is exactly why. Because women feel for the ladies. So we feel, for example, if something went wrong in a data center, an IT team lead for a project or an organization comfortably call another gentleman, say, hey, at midnight, how are you doing? What, when your things are not working, can we get on call, right? Can we, troubleshoot?
Yes.
It's very difficult calling a lady. When you call her, you'll be blamed for actually trying to infringe on her privacy. She's with her husband. She's what? So that's probably the reason why it's a little bit of a struggle hiring, especially in tech.
That's the general reason in tech.
Yeah.
And then at some point we reached a point where everyone was like, again, since they aren't hiring ladies, they'll give us such reasons. I've listened to the worst of the reasons.
What's the worst?
This brother told me, you see, as a man, he told me, as a lady, you only need to get impregnated by one guy, and for the whole year you will be down. Obviously, pregnancy is like sickness, so you'll be down the whole year. He had a point. And he was like, for me, a guy, I can impregnate 10 women, and I will not be down the whole year.
So you think the reason it was a little bit hard hiring women in technology at that time was because they are demanding in terms of, especially when they get married and they need to give birth and stuff, like they kill a couple months.
Yeah, of course you kill a couple of months.
I know.
Besides, we fall sick every month.
I know.
I know. Well, I'm going to talk about girl things, but when I get my period, before I even get them, I have PMS, which goes on sometimes for a week, sometimes for 2 weeks. So basically, the whole month, you're just not yourself most of the times. But any lady who is broke like me, trust me, you're not going to worry about period or what. You're going to swallow those painkillers and you're going to climb that mast because you need your job and you know what you're doing. But because the bias was so general, most of us couldn't get work.
Okay, I got you.
You understand?
Okay, so so you're into website development.
That's
Do you still develop up to now?
I do. I have a full-time job.
Okay.
I'm working as the IT personnel, IT manager, Inspector Africa. But it's first love, and that's money.
Okay.
Like I told you, I want to transition into comedy.
Yes.
I'll need equipment. I need the small equipment. Of course, I've bought small things.
We shall get to the comedy later.
But before I get there, before I can fulfill my dreams, before I can follow my retirement plan, or I don't know. You need money. You need savings.
I agree entirely.
I
did exactly the same.
Yeah.
I also have a full-time job, but then I love music.
Mm-hmm.
So I get out of that space because you need to pay the recording studio.
Yeah, you need to pay
for a music video. You've got to pay for songs to be mastered and mixed and all those things. You've got to pay for promotions.
Yes.
So I also perfectly relate to what you're saying,
Yes.
that you need to first make the money before you go into the comedy space that you really want to go into. But then before you get there, should we say in technology, what do you? This person has messed me up. 1 second. What, as a lady in technology, what the example you gave us of being a little bit hard to hire back in the day, because you said you're old school, so that was back in the day. Like right now, what would you say is the most challenging thing in the technology space for ladies right now, especially African ladies?
African ladies. We have actual tech people and then tech enthusiasts. Now, when you're lady number one, any IT person, anyone who has ever written code, we know we struggle with thinking, am I good enough? Imposter syndrome, And if you're a lady, all your life you've grown up with wondering if you're good enough, if you're well behaved, if you're good enough in class, if you're the most beautiful girl, and then you're now in the tech space, which is a little bit too competitive, and it puts you out there on the blast. Everybody's looking at you like, can she do it or she can't do it? I work in a tech company, and most of the people I work with are boys and men. And men, when it comes to technology, have energy.
But technology is not energy. Technology is really the brain and how to connect A to B to
yes.
C, and it's really logic, right?
It's
why
logic.
should it be? Why do you think it's about energy?
Okay, but like I said, we have actual technology tech people and tech enthusiasts. Now, tech enthusiasts are a little bit louder than tech people. I usually give the basic example of, remember cryptocurrency? It was divided by two types of tech people. Actual tech people did not invest in Bitcoin because you have to be a little bit rational. Hold on, this is open source. So should I put money in his coin, or can I just download the source code and make my own coin? Now, all of us will have our own coins. You understand?
Patience.
The mindset of it.
Patience. You're confusing these great viewers. How can you make your own coin? I haven't seen that. I've had a few coins on me, but I can't make my own coin. What do you mean? You mean I can make some coins myself?
Cryptocurrency runs on blockchain, and blockchain is open source. And when you understand open source, it's the free source code which you can get and create something out of it, something of your own. Nowadays, we have so many coins out there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, tech enthusiasts got excited because they were going to make quick money. People like me who overthink, were like, hold on, wait a minute. You mean I need money to buy money on the platform where I can also make my own coin, and and if everybody now makes their own coins, yes. Will this even be real money? At some point it's going to fall apart, and I think we went that way.
Correct.
So so I'll try and say that the difference between actual tech people and tech enthusiasts rush to do things.
Okay.
Tech people, you think through a process.
Okay. I hear you.
One of the recent fight I had with a workmate came down when it came to hard disks. Hard disks, they have a lifespan. Well, that's what most people don't understand. Somebody buys their hard drive and they're like, this will work forever. No, they have health.
True, like any other computer accessory. I know.
And sometimes when a computer is showing you that the hard disk is weak, sometimes it's just better not to touch it, as long as there's that on it. I ever reached a point where like my laptop is almost crashing, you remove the hard disk, and you're like, I need to protect the data first.
True.
They didn't get it. So when they took it to a fellow tech enthusiast, formatted the thing, it worked for 2 weeks, crashed again. And I'm like, remember when I told you not to touch it, it became a whole fight, So there's something, ladies, because for him, I'm sure, where he was, he thought I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And I didn't know what I was talking about. So he went and got a second opinion from the next person.
Do you think he thought that because you're a lady or because of your expertise?
He didn't know, but by then he didn't know that I know I'm on research, but technically I have a master's degree. Yeah,
So why do you think he felt they needed to go and get a second opinion? Because you're a lady, or because they felt you're not technically savvy enough?
I guess it is both. You
Oh,
understand?
really?
Because
Okay.
for ladies, they always assume you're not as good as the guys.
Okay.
But there's time when I did internship at one of the big companies around. But for me, my internship wasn't the normal ones where people are teaching you how to do things. I just got that internship because I wanted an internship, but I already knew how to do everything. I could terminate a cable, I could do,
Punch down.
yeah. I knew how to do all those things, do the whole tech support thing, everything.
This is the kind of lady.
So when I reached that
You know.
company, I found other interns. I trained them. Like if the boss was like, you already know these things, I'm busy, train them. I trained them. So when they wanted to retain one person, the human resource told me there's no way a lady taught a man how to do these things.
Was a human resource a lady or a man?
A lady.
And that's what she said.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I've been in so many companies where, I started doing website development, and I've worked for various IT companies where you are the token hire.
Mm-hmm.
We call it being a token hire, which is nowadays common. Of course, they're hiring women because everybody's like, wow, your IT department lacks a woman, and then they get a token,
Really, to make it seem like they're gender sensitive.
Yeah, they are gender sensitive. You're the token hire. But sometimes you find a token hire who can stand on their own. Because we know some of us are logical. Ladies, we are emotional, and when it comes to personalities, men are logical, ladies, we are more of emotion. But sometimes you find logical ladies. It comes down to background. It doesn't mean you're not you don't make emotional decisions.
Got you.
But you grow around men, and for me, I grew around men who are doing it right from my dad. So most of the times you find like you are talking higher, but you are as good. You are so good. You're better than even the men, But sometimes even your boss worries that. Well, I think your boss took a chance on you because he believes in you, But the client they are sending you to, I've reached some offices where like, oh, this is a software engineer you sent us. Like in the meeting, they have to mention you're a lady. Wow. So you sent us a lady. That's nice. And you're like, is it nice? Why is the nice stretched?
Yes.
But you're like, it's all right. You stay there, you do your thing.
Yes.
And then you're like, wow, ladies actually deliver. You're like, wow, where did this come from? Just
Nice.
So most of the young ladies are facing that, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So, in terms of, you had that background. You did, you studied computer science. Sorry, it's computer science?
I
Software,
studied IT.
IT information technology.
Yeah, then I went for information systems.
Systems for your masters.
Yeah. I also did education in between there.
Okay, perfect. Oof, nicely educated lady. Are you, before I even go on to the next question, men out there love women that are properly educated. I'm not sure if they really do, but if they did, gentlemen, that is if you're still searchable. I'll not go into that for now. But the next question is, so from the background that you have, and then you've studied, experienced, all right, firsthand. There are young ladies out there that would like to be like you. Like, what kind of advice would you want to give them in order for them to turn out to be great engineers in the tech space?
You have to ignore voices. You have to ignore everybody telling you you're not good enough, or you're not being a lady. Ladies. One time, somebody saw me opening a computer with my screwdrivers, and were like, you see, we find it weird when you look at a lady doing that. But I like doing that. So sometimes the way we're raised, the noise we hear gets in our way of being great. And if you want to be great, honestly, as long as you're not hurting anyone innocent, do it. Because at the end of the day, you're answerable to you. At the end of the day, everybody who spoke bad things about you, who tried to discourage you, is not going to be there to pay your bills.
Correct.
To recommend you for the job you have no experience in. For me, when I couldn't get hired, I hired myself. I designed websites. I posted in social media. At some point, Facebook was like, you've posted in 100 groups. 100 groups. Just imagine posting in 30 groups, how hard that is. But imagine the time you reach
You had
100.
posted 100.
I had posted in 100. I have that car thing
Crazy.
on my Facebook. One day I'll look for the image and share it. I'm like, man, I looked for money.
But that is nice.
You know?
That is proof that you're a go-getter and that you're not taking no chance, right? You're not leaving anything to chance, I mean.
I'm actually not a go-getter. I was just a broke chick trying to pay my rent.
No, I mean, that's
The
what you
only
think
way I
about
know
yourself.
how.
But in the real sense, you're a go-getter. You know what you want the money, and you know how to get it the right way. Other girls would probably have done it differently. But then you chose to go onto your account, look for clients online. I know you're doing so many other things, but then knowing that you post in 100 groups and you even got cautioned by Facebook, ooh, that's crazy, man. But then, away from that, so the advice you have for them is that they need to not listen to the voices.
Yeah.
What do you call them?
Okay, of course I'm not going to call them negative voices.
Negative voices, yeah. But
what I'm going to say is, anyone trying to discourage you when they haven't tried it themselves, don't listen to them.
Okay.
You know, get out there if you're passionate about something. I've seen ladies passionate about programming, passionate about hardware. Trust me. Walk with that screwdriver. I used to work with screwdrivers in my bag, and it would be weird when somebody's like, I have a problem here. I'm like, can I look at it? And you know, they'd be like, but it's not ladylike. I'm like, man, what is ladylike?
I know.
We're in a world where nowadays there's nothing. If men want to go cook and babysit babies, what is making it hard for you to climb a must and fix the network if you can do it? Because nowadays companies are struggling hiring competent people, and if you're competent, trust me, keep knocking the door until somebody opens. And one thing I've seen,
that's a major one.
Yeah.
Keep knocking the door until someone opens.
Yes.
And if there is no door,
create your own
door and then knock on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
When young ladies come to me and they're like, oh, I want to start in tech, but I don't know where to start, I'm like, list down your skills. The good thing about the tech industry, you don't need capital. You don't need, list down your skills. The moment you list them down, that's a business card, period. You know, put your name, Nekesa Patience, my company name, okay, I called mine Media Minute by then, but you can call it the nice name you want. And then services provided, you know, hardware repair, social media management, you know, photography, things like that, content creation. I'm good at writing. You know what? We need content. I have so many clients who cannot write sentences, but they are willing to give you money to just write for them about what their company does. I usually take young girls, whenever somebody's like, I need to make extra money, I'm like, you know what? Can you write? Okay, meet my client, listen to him, write down what he wants. And sometimes be like, how much should I charge him? I'm like, you know, for now, since he needs about 5 pages, tell him, you know, 300,000 or 200. Of course, tell him a higher price to that. He'll lowball you, but yes, you get some money.
I agree.
You know, and then you sit down for 1 week, focus.
And right.
And before you know, you have about 200K in your pocket. You've made that in 1 week. Remember, you made it in 1 week. So do not sell yourselves short, because that's the world we are living in. Nowadays, we are competing for the same jobs with the men. You're going to be like, okay, me, I'll go do hairdressing. I've met men who do better hairdressing, you know? So maybe the culture should change.
Sure, I agree.
The culture should change. If men want to cook food, actually, some of the best jobs I've met are men, which is considered a feminine job. Hey, for you can be a driver.
I now know of male nurses. Previously, I thought nurses were supposed to be women.
No.
I know so many male nurses.
It comes down to, because something like being a nurse, how big is your heart? Do you care? What?
Period.
Does it mean men shouldn't have big hearts, they shouldn't care? You don't know.
Yeah.
And if you're a lady and you're good with your hands, why can't you be a surgeon? Slice.
Not being a surgeon, you go and study, you don't just decide.
Yeah, but yes, I'm
I
saying,
get what you say.
It's general in women in STEM.
Otherwise, you're going to be a killer, not a surgeon.
Yeah, but it's general in women in STEM.
Yeah.
And it's worldwide. It's not even just Uganda where I'd be like, maybe when I go to America, people look, you know, I'm like, no, man. It's worldwide. Because that's just how culture is, worldwide.
Okay, nice, perfect. Being in the space where you are, There are girls that look up to you. They really want to be like you. All right? They're there wishing they were you. You know, they want to be you. Who do you look up to yourself?
Wow.
Who inspired you to be this kind of person that you are?
To go get it, not to wallow. It's a combination of so many people. So many people. One of the people I look at is Tina Turner. I love Tina Turner.
Really?
You know?
I thought Tina Turner was music and everything.
Yeah. But
she into tech also? I didn't know high tech.
No, she's not into tech.
So how did she inspire you?
I look at her story as somebody who was just in the background singer for a man, you know, and then she went through domestic violence, and then at some point she was like, no, enough is enough. I'm not going to sit here and suffer. I'm not going to be in the background, but I'm going to go out there and make a name for myself. I'm going to go out there and do something for myself. I know she's a musician, but she'd be the same attitude. Of course, young ladies, you're going to be in companies where you're going to get mistreated. That is just normal. In the department, you're one lady. Obviously, you're going to be bullied by one guy who's probably feeling insecure that, you know, because for me, he has grown up thinking he was better than you. You cannot blame him because that's what he knows, you know. But he's going to bully you into the day you feel like, I want to quit my job. But at the end of the day, no. You get up, you work. Because most of the best programmers, we have Adele Alvarez. She's considered one of the first female programmers. Actually, the first female.
The first best.
I can say first. I really say best because, anyway, in her times, according to how technology was, how you can write code the hard way, yeah, I consider her the best.
Nice. Okay, so which year are we talking about?
I can't guess the year, but it might have been 1970 something.
Ooh, those were early programmers.
Yeah,
okay.
Those were early programmers, you know.
So Tina Turner. Who else?
Tina Turner.
Just Tina Turner.
Hey, I'm looking at strong ladies. You look at Oprah, and I've been in places where I've been fired because they were like, "You're a lady, you can't be in the IT department. Go do sales," and then you're bad at sales, and you're like, "I would have thrived the other side." You know, they're putting in sales where I have to go lie to people to buy products. They don't even need so that my boss can make money. I don't reason like that. I'm not good at sales, especially if I don't know what I'm saying, or if it's not something I'm familiar with.
You know? Just to chip in there a little bit. There are things that we know about ourselves that we can do well.
Yeah.
There are things other people know about us that we do not know that we can do well. And there are those things that we don't know and other people don't know. But there are things about us.
Yeah.
It's possible that your boss saw you as a good salesperson. You probably didn't believe that, because I would really think you're a good salesperson. Excellent salesperson.
No.
The fact that you've sold this whole narrative of being a go-getter and you've already sold this idea to the young girls out there and they want to look up to you. What makes you think you're not a good salesperson? Like, if you use the same energy, same enthusiasm, you'd sell just about any product, any good product. I really think so. So your boss might have seen that in you and then tried to push you in that direction. You probably just wanted to be in tech. I know.
No, not really.
I know, yeah?
I just wanted a job that time.
Yeah.
But I was not.
But that was a job.
I was not good at sales because it just wasn't my thing. I was more of a technical person. Okay, sales comes in when you know social engineering, social language, and for me, my language is a little bit more technical.
Okay, gotcha.
And that sometimes gets in my way of communicating with anyone.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you're a lady and you're a little bit too technical, you come off weird to most people. Yeah, and yet most of the ladies you're around, they know how to smile, how to. I don't know. There's why they talk, and sometimes you're like, man, I'm sold.
No, I perfectly understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But then, so Oprah showed you to persevere regardless of what people think, what people around you think.
When you get fired,
like,
yes. Of course, when you get fired, I've seen it, most companies, even your workmates, will unfriend you on Facebook because they look at you like as this crazy, as this person who can't even work, you know. But sometimes you're just in the wrong department, or you're just in the wrong office, in the wrong company, and that should not make you feel like you're not good enough at what you're doing. Remember, with tech, you have to keep learning. You never stop learning, you know.
Nice.
Because right now we're no longer Googling. you need to learn how to use AI. ChatGPT came, and you have all these kids who are like, ChatGPT, what? And you're like, man, what is ChatGPT? You know? We're no longer doing things that we used to. Well, like I said, the old school, we used to code the hardware, you go, you code the whole PHP. Nowadays, we have frameworks.
I know, perfectly.
You know?
Laravel and the rest.
Yeah,
Perfectly
and the rest.
understandable, yeah.
So you need to keep learning. You need to keeping up with the times.
Okay.
Of course, at some point, I know I won't be able to keep up with the times. That's why you need plan B.
No, don't resign too early.
I'm not going to resign to obviously.
You still can.
I still need money, and this is the only way I know how to make money. Honestly, I can't sing like you, so I can't make money through singing. Yeah. And I thought of acting, but I think I still have that imposter syndrome.
But you can sing. I'd like you to. Let me test you out on sing. You can say, "Party so sweet, it's so skanking sweet." Say that. Party so sweet, it's so skanking sweet. Say that.
Okay, you said party is so sweet and it is so skanking sweet. Hold on.
You got it. You're close. But I'd like you to say it, rhyme. Party
it.
so sweet, it's so skanking sweet.
Party is so sweet, it's so skanking sweet.
That means you can sing. Stop playing with yourself.
I have my friend, he trains voices, and so like anyone who can speak can sing.
That's what I'm talking
like,
about. Yeah.
Oh, it depends on the genre. There are genres like pop, what you do, reggae.
Raga dancer.
You see?
Reggae, raga dancer, everything. Holy party.
Some of those might not require vocals.
Yeah.
But me, I'm the kind of person who loves hair metal, soft rock,
Okay.
the music with big choruses and the ballads. No, those ones you need voices. I mean, by the time you sing your heart out and hit that high note, yeah? I'm like, you need vocals. So,
I agree.
So you realize that my voice, if it can handle raga, and then I go sing a soul song, people are going to run out.
I agree entirely. Thank you. Oh, nice. So the young ladies out there that would like to be in tech, you heard from her. That's what you need to do. Don't listen to those voices that are trying to distract you. Be firm, follow your passion, and then know that you might be, looked at as not being competent every once in a while, but keep, still remain pointed in the right direction. Thank you very much, Patience. Now, away from tech. You've taken us on a ride in the tech direction. Away from the tech, I know you'd like to venture into comedy.
Yes.
Like, how does somebody switch from tech into comedy, and what kind of comedy are you planning to do? But then first, what inspired you, motivated you to switch, to make that switch?
I mean, who doesn't love to laugh? You love
Loving to laugh is different from actually making people laugh, right?
Yes.
Like, so what inspired you to want to make people laugh? Like, where does that come from? At what point did you make that switch or get that feeling?
Actually, I've always made people laugh around me. I like it when people are comfortable. I like it when people are ease. So once in a while you throw in a joke here and then, Somebody told me, you're too geeky, you cannot do comedy. And I'm like, see those voices again. But what I say is, I love comedy. I've watched so many comedians.
Then the opera came out.
The opera?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Why do you make it feel like women who are tough are like... you can still be somebody who stands your ground without being tough and assertive and disrespectful.
I know.
I usually do that in the softest way.
Yeah.
Like I can insult you so nicely.
Ah.
I'm just saying that if I had to, I would insult you. But by the time I get aggressive, it's because I know that's the only language you understand.
Now let's imagine a situation. Right now you're a comedian. Let's imagine a situation where you asked me to do to turn on a certain server, let's in the tech space. Then I did not turn it on. You went home, you thought it was on for you to do your work, but somehow you get home and it's not on. How would you insult me nicely? Now there you're merging comedy and tech.
So am I in this situation? Am I your boss or you're my boss? Or you're just colleagues?
You're my boss, but you're the comedian that you are. You are my boss.
And I'm
how would you insult me nicely?
And I'm supposed to insult you nicely.
Of course, you want to.
I don't think of any pun there. But hold on, I specifically told you to switch on the server.
I didn't switch it
And
on,
you didn't switch
and
it
then
on?
you wanted it switched on so you could go home and get some work done. But then
Mm.
somehow you get home, you're trying to get busy, and then this person didn't switch on the server. Insult me nicely. I haven't been insulted nicely before. But I know you will do that later on. But
Yeah,
so what inspired that switch back to that one? Because it's rare. Somebody that would want to switch into comedy would be somebody that was probably doing music. But then you get what I'm saying? But then a geek, somebody that is so deep into tech, I've seen you actually attend workshops where you're talking to young people and what, and then the switch into comedy. Like, at what point did you realize you had some comic in you? And I'm curious to know something about that switch from tech into comedy, because that's the direction you're taking, right?
Everyone has that.
Is that the direction you're taking?
Yeah, everyone has that thing in them. Sorry. Every single person has that thing in them. Where like, man, I would like to tell jokes, like I sometimes I joke about it, but one day when it comes out, people will be like, she has been joking about this for years. Where I'll be like, man, I want to retire and live my long life dream of being a comedian. And I'm like, what? Like people look at you like, what are you saying? How is fish connected to comedy? And then some point we'll be joking, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to become a comedian. My long life, like it's something. Everyone has that thing in them whereby one day I'm going to do this. This is my dream job. I'd just love to make people funny. I'd just love to show up and be the clown. I love being the clown in any environment.
Okay.
Even in classes, my name was always on the list because I was always the classroom clown.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I was always that clown. Like my name was always on the list of the noisemakers. One time I was with my friend. We were in the elevator, I did arts, and the science class was just across ours.
Oh yeah.
But since they had a class that night, it was prep night, me and my friend, we switched over to the science class, and we just there like 2 minutes, and the entire class got disorganized. No one was concentrating. The science class is the quietest class, and then all of a sudden they're like, what has changed? And they're like, patience.
These two people that have come in here.
Like Patience and her friend.
Okay.
They are the reason this whole class got disorganized. Like so that's when I'm like, what is that about me which can just confuse serious people?
So it's something you've been thinking about for the longest time.
Yeah. Now I'm like, maybe there's that part of me which is very unserious, and I need to
get it out of you.
Yeah.
And then, let it
get it
flourish.
out of you. Because it
water
moves people.
I know.
It causes people to move.
I know.
Like most times when I get into fights, when somebody sees me angry and I'm in a fight, people stop for a moment. They're like, "Hey, she's fighting." Like I know right now I should have just made a stupid joke about the whole situation. Like I've over time, over the years, like there's time when I was in some place, and sometimes when you're a girl, some people are hating on you, And then one lady became my friend, and then I started making fun of the people who are insulting me and hating on me, and I'm like, man, how you wake up and just, like I started making fun of them, and she was like, so it is actually pointless people insulting you because you're actually making fun of them.
From the way you sound, you make it seem like to you, comedy or jokes are therapeutic in a way.
Obviously.
Nice. So I would like to know which, there are stand-up comedians, there are those that are, that do skits, and which other category? Probably the movies, and then but those are still skits because you add a small skit.
Yeah,
like
skits.
Which space would you like to occupy?
What I've thought of that.
Stand-up?
I thought of
I think
stand-up.
you'd make a good stand-up comedian.
I don't trust my voice though.
Yeah.
I've always been so conscious about my voice. And stand-up comedy, you have to be in the moment, and it's all about time. You have to stand there, and sometimes the joke might not land properly. At least if it is acted, you go over the scripts, they edit it, and then people get the final version of verifying the joke. But stand up in front of people.
Yeah.
And if the joke doesn't land?
Okay, so from the way you sound, you want to do the skits.
I would rather do the skits because
okay.
you go through it over and over and be like, all right, we can edit it.
Okay. just to confirm that comic in you. Please make me laugh. I love to laugh. I love to laugh. Make me laugh.
What makes you laugh?
Eh? A good joke.
Which topic?
A good joke about food.
About food.
Yeah.
Right.
But then, anyway, about food, I'm just really, tuning you towards that. But any nice joke would really, make me laugh. Give me a good laugh.
Laugh about food. Honestly, every time you think about food, I think we're all children in a way, because have you ever been around a child? Have you ever asked a child if it is hungry?
Yes.
Like they always want food, like when with the child, they always want food. And I know you have a little daughter, trust me. Every time she cries, just give her food and yeah. Of course I haven't made you laugh. But you want me to make a joke about food? Man.
Any joke, just make me laugh.
I just make you
Yes.
laugh.
And then this guys, everybody on here is going to know that you're making the right choice to switch from tech into comedy by the laughter that is going to burst out of you right now.
I think I can do dark comedy, dark
Please.
humor. Where you go dark and somebody's like, is that supposed to be funny? Or, is that
Give me a good laugh.
You put me on a blast. Now I have to make you laugh.
Take some of your G-Styles drink. Take a sip.
I take a sip.
Yeah. I'm waiting. My body is itching for, to get that good laugh.
Hold on. So laughter right now can stop your body from itching.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
How does your body function?
Like that. Like it's itching right now for a good laugh.
Okay, I'm just asking how your body functions. Like all you need is laugh, and all of a sudden,
Right now.
your body stops itching.
But then that's not really the case. The case is to prove, to our good viewers. I mean, we talked about you transitioning on the other side. So just to show them that, hey, now the comic is out right now. Anything, any of the jokes you've written.
I'm thinking of, actually I've written some jokes. I wonder why I didn't read through them before I came. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of a situation, because most time comedy comes as a story, comes as a scenario, a certain situation that happened and you happen to witness it, and then you put in your weird thoughts about it, and
think differently about it.
Yeah. And then you think different about it, and I know most good comedies, like most comedians who break out, like it has to be something a little bit obscene, like in the genitalia,
G-Styles is not
I'm just saying.
PG-18 anything.
I'm just saying that.
Go for it.
That most comedies, most of the good comedies are usually very, very genitalia.
But then if you've watched Trevor Noah, you watched Trevor Noah. I haven't seen Trevor Noah go nasty. Trevor Noah has been clean, and his comedy is really nice. I love to watch Trevor Noah all the time. Like, why should good comedy really be nasty and derogatory?
Because sometimes you're so desperate trying to get a laugh out of someone, and sometimes you have to go there.
Please go there.
The good thing with Trevor Noah's comedy situation, you think of a story, and then you be like, this sounds like this. You know what? I've seen this before. And then you put in your comedy. Or you've lived it, or you've seen somebody live it.
I agree. Entirely.
There's a story one time I wanted to write where I was trying to come up with like I've always had this thing of creating a TV show and all that, and I was trying to come up with these characters from my home.
From your home?
Yeah, from my childhood. And then you realize that most of the memories you have about your childhood, it always comes down to the names, the names they give people. And then you try to remember that, hold on, that person was called this, but his name was actually this, especially our African name, there's how we twist our names.
Give us an example.
So when I was going, there was this man who was called Teddy, and we knew him as Teddy. Teddy. It was until when I was writing it down, I'm like, oh, his name is Terry. We called him, his name was Terry, but we knew him as Telly.
Yes.
Telly,
Yes.
and all that,
Yeah.
you know. And so sometimes I try to remember some of the names some of the names we've really mispronounced, you know. We had this teacher called Jeremiah. I hope he never watches it. I loved him. I still adore him. Jeremiah. Until one time when they told me how they call him in his village, a friend of mine was like, wait, I met Mr. Jeremiah's mom. Can you imagine they call him Jeremiah? I think the mom was calling him Jeremiah. I'm like, yeah. Okay, for me to make me laugh. You know, I'm like, who? Jeremiah. His name is Jeremiah. I'm like, okay. So I look at them. Which name do they call? How they call you in your village?
G Styles.
No. Come on.
Yeah.
Your grandmom does not call you G Styles.
What makes you think so?
I know that
That's
your
what
grandmom always has a name for you.
My great G Styles. That's what she calls me.
Your grandmom calls you Great G Styles. Right. For me, they run my name in the village, so sometimes I just go with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Nice. I see you. So I wish you very well into, as you venture out into the comedy space. I see you love it, but I notice that you love more of laughing at jokes than actually cracking them. You're more of a consumer.
I'm more of a
producer.
consumer.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now. But
No.
I'm yet to watch.
It's good to know that I'm more of a consumer than a producer.
Yes.
So that then you know how do I contribute to this.
That is correct.
You know,
yeah.
some of the comedians I watch, I know you love Trevor Noah, but I love the first guy. I'm more of a Jon Stewart person. So it was hard for me to watch the Daily Show when Trevor Noah joined. Because I was like, where's John? I was more of a Jon Stewart.
Like, what is so special about Jon Stewart, for example?
Okay.
Like, I would say I've watched Dave Chappelle. I've watched who's this guy? Dave Chappelle. I've watched this guy that's Cat Williams. I've watched so many of those guys.
Okay.
Those black guys.
Those are stand-up comedians.
Yes, but then I can tell you I love Trevor Noah because he's clean. He's not as derogatory as the rest of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what makes you say you chose Jon
Stewart on
Jon
the
Stewart
Daily Show?
over Trevor Noah?
I love Trevor Noah when he's doing stand-up comedy, but when he was on the Daily Show, for me it was hard for me to like catch up.
Like, what was special about Jon Stewart?
Just Jon Stewart, like the way he talks, the way he catches the joke, the way he gets them. Like, he was. Maybe because he was the first person, it was his thing.
Yeah.
The Daily Show. So maybe he was the first person who introduced me to the Daily Show. Him and Stephen Colbert before Colbert moved on to the Late Show. Like, I used to watch most of those shows, and this other guy, John Oliver, was actually a producer and one of the members or one of the teams on Jon Stewart's show, and he went on to host his own last week tonight. So, like, when I watched most of those shows, for me it was hard for me to connect with Trevor Noah. Like, maybe because I was used to him doing stand-up, and then these other guys are just political commentary, and then they make fun of those commentary. Sometimes I feel like maybe that's the kind of comedy I would do. Like, you watch a political situation and
Okay.
You make jokes about it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pesh. It's really been nice having you.
Yeah.
I'm going to let our subscribers. Where would my subscribers find you? Just our subscribers. Like, they might want to see more of you, probably in tech or in the comedy space.
Okay, so in tech, I haven't yet uploaded any of those videos, but I think I'm going to start collecting some of those videos and putting them online. But I'm on TikTok. I don't do much on TikTok. I haven't yet started doing my thing because I need to figure it out. But I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, you can find me there. And when my YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, but mainly the channel I have is I was teaching website development. I was doing a tutorial on
Yeah.
Joomla
I mean,
web development.
tech people might be interested in that. So
It
still
was
good.
an old version of Joomla, and now
Still
we have a
good.
new version.
I mean, nobody will judge you based on the time you uploaded it. So that
I
shouldn't be
uploaded
no
it.
worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm working something out. It's going to be more of commentary.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be more of a personal take on something, and then there, of course, obviously, I'll be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'll visit Gist House again to promote it.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's my friend. I've known him for a while.
Nice. All right. So thanks for. It's been a true honor having you, woman in tech. You're a great lady, and I see the sky is the limit. You're not taking any chance. You're venturing out everywhere you feel you can go. You're just going there. All the best, and thanks for showing up on G Style. It's a true honor.
Okay.
Kindly ask the young ladies out there to subscribe to G Style before you run.
So thank you for inviting me. Okay, please subscribe to Gist Styles. He's on YouTube. He's on TikTok. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook, and all the other social media sites out there. I would like you to please subscribe, like, and share with all your friends. You can even share in those inboxes, message your friends so that they can get to experience his content. I love his content, some of the best I've seen around, and I'll see you there.
Thank you and enjoy yourself. Big up. All right. Thanks, Pesh, and have you a good one.
Yeah, right.
See you on the next one.
Better, please.